How many times have you come across a situation where you think too much about how to say something in English? And when you actually open your mouth to speak, you cannot speak anything at all. All the grammar tenses, those verbs, those conjugations, those words and phrases are flustering your mind. And the information overload just blocks your functional memory. You might not have given it a specific attention, but the major cause of this problem is preparation. Whenever we are supposed to say something in English, we end up preparing the speech in our conscious mind rather than saying something instantaneously or spontaneously. What happens, the more you think about how to respond or how to speak something in English, the more options you have to choose from, as a result of which information overload increases. Following which, you face 3 problems: hesitation, lack of quick decision making, fear of making mistakes, and perfection paralysis. Hi, I am Surabhi Jain, the founder of Fearless Communicators Tribe and the creator of Turbo English Mastery Program. So if you want to know why this happens, and if you want to know the solution to these problems, type yes in the chat box and stay till the end. Imagine all your English knowledge and information poured inside a bottle. And you come across an English speaker and you have to respond something in English. Now, can you process all this information and knowledge instantly and produce a fluent speech? Certainly not. Understand, human beings have certain natural limitations. Each human being can process a certain limited amount of information at a time. This is when information overload occurs. The reason why your speech becomes hesitant, slow and broken is that because your brain has to make multiple decisions within a millisecond. Now suppose you have to frame a sentence in English. You have to decide upon which grammar tense to use. Immediately, your grammar tense table will flash in front of your eyes. For example, you go with your friends to dine in a restaurant the night before. Now you will think, because this happened in a certain time before a certain moment, so I should use past perfect tense. Now in this tense we use had with the past participle form of the main verb. So I can say, I had already been to the restaurant where we were dining yesterday. Now, you might think, now because I am not referring to the process of eating, I'm just referring to the place. So should I use past simple along with past participle, or should I be using past continuous? Now because I'm concentrating on the place, I should use simple past. So I should say I had already been to the restaurant where we dined yesterday. Such kind of preparation and strategy and planning will be going on inside your conscious mind. And but natural, it will make your speaking slow and broken. And it will distract you from the main objective, the main purpose, which is speaking, communication. So your formal English knowledge or your textbook knowledge might be intense. But such information overload causes you to lack quick decision making. Because you are still thinking, analyzing, planning and predicting all the possibilities of what to say. And then you end up choosing the best possible way to say something, which makes your speech hesitant and you end up struggling to produce a fluent speech. Imagine you are gladly in a conversation with a friend, but you just hold on to express yourself because you might think, am I getting it right or not? To make it even worse, you might start avoiding conversation with people because you don't want to feel humiliated and embarrassed. The latter is going to make you even worse. Because no matter how deadly is the fear of committing mistakes for you, your spoken English will not improve because you're not just speaking enough. But before we move forward, let's understand, where does this fear of making mistakes while speaking in English originate from? Remember, in schools, we were encouraged to speak and express ourselves, but at the same time, our formal grammar knowledge was assessed and corrected against existing standards. As a result of which, our focus moved from speaking and expressing towards upgrading our formal grammar textbook knowledge. Understand, English is not like the exact practical subjects like maths and science, where you need to apply certain formulas, definitions to arrive at the correct answer, where making mistakes would result in wrong answers. Spoken English is a skill, just like arts and music, where committing mistakes helps you to improvise yourself. So the small mistakes which you commit are not as big as communication barriers. Spoken English is not just words. It is the feelings, the emotions, the expressions. It is your gestures and your entire body language. It is how you look at the people. So look at your mistakes as an integral part of being an English speaker. And whenever you have that onset of fear and anxiety of doing a mistake, committing a mistake, just think that making mistakes is normal, natural, and necessary. But don't think that I am professing wrong, bad, and broken English. You definitely need to work upon improving yourself, improving your grammar, and applying proper words and phrases while speaking. The point I want you to understand is that ignore the fear of making mistakes. Don't let it become a speech barrier. Don't let it become a communication barrier in your spoken English. When you know that there are multiple ways of saying something in English, obviously you want to make sure that you say it correctly and in the best possible way. And that is natural as well as justified. But this urge of speaking perfectly makes you analyze your entire formal knowledge. You end up analyzing all the information you have gathered over years, and you fall prey to perfection paralysis. For example, you are in a casual conversation with one of your colleagues and he asks you about your vacation plans. So you have two options. Either you can just say the first thing which comes to your mind, okay, I'm going to go for vacations next month and this time we are going to go abroad. Or you can just start weighing all the do's and don'ts of saying something in future actions. You might think, okay, now he's talking about my vacations. My vacations are planned and everything is arranged. So I must use the will plus verb form of the future tense. So I might say, I will go for vacations next month. Now wait, will plus verb for future actions is used for instant actions. But here, everything is arranged, everything is planned. So I might use the going to form of the future verb. And I must say, I'm going to go for my vacations next month. Now hold on. Now because everything is arranged, so I must use present continuous tense and I must say, I am going to go for vacations next month. Now this seems to be a perfect choice for me. Now this might not take as long as it took me to explain you. But obviously, it will be a lot of extra work for your brain if you speak over analyzing things. In real life situations, it might just take few seconds, but obviously, it will damage your fluency and you will not be able to speak in English effortlessly and naturally. naturally. So what is the solution? What is the solution to avoid this overthinking, thinking too much when we are speaking in English? What is the solution to analysis paralysis? Understand, when you are writing something in English, when you're writing a speech on a piece of paper, you have all the time in the world to think and analyze through all the grammar aspects. You have time to sculpt your sentences to perfection. You have time to take well-calculated decisions. But when you're speaking to someone and you have already opened your mouth to utter those words and your partner is expectantly looking towards you, all that you have is a split of a second to make those decisions. But your brain has a habit of choosing from multiple choices, as a result of which your speech is paralyzed and you are unable to utter even a single word. Or even if you speak in broken sentences. So stop overanalyzing, stop making calculated decisions, just respond spontaneously. So as we have discussed earlier, spoken English is an art, a skill. Now think of any skill which you are good at, maybe driving, playing a piano or any other. Tell me, when you are driving, do you pay attention on how to change gears or when to change the gear from third to second and second to third? If you would have, your driving would be jerky, as if you were driving for the first time. Same is with piano. Do you pay attention to those black and white keys while playing piano? If you would have, you wouldn't have been playing in the rhythm. So spoken English is no different. The commonality between all these actions is automatic action. When you are automatic in your actions, when you perform automatically, you perform well. So just stop overanalyzing and zip up your conscious brain. It is but obvious that when you speak without analyzing and you zip up your conscious analytical brain, you are going to commit more mistakes along the way. But you need to understand that you are going to get better and better with time. How? When you engage yourself in English conversations with natural English speakers, your brain acquires natural English speech patterns, which make you improvise your English speaking and your mistakes are minimized. All you need to have is faith in yourself and keep yourself motivated that your ideas, your suggestions, your thoughts, your expressions, your feelings are more important than perfection in English. It is important to accept that you are going to make more mistakes when you speak without analyzing your speech. But don't you think it's okay as long as you can speak fluently, as long as you can overcome your hesitation so that you can speak more and more? So go along and accept your mistakes as normal, natural, and necessary. The best way to deal with all that information overload, the grammar rules, tenses, verbs, conjugation, the word lists, is to just say the first thing on your mind. Now, there are great chances that the first thing which comes to your mind might be wrong. You might commit mistakes. But as you get better at it, you will realize that the first thing which comes to your mind is the right thing to say. Now, there are chances that the first thing which comes to your mind might be wrong. So what? Just go back and correct yourself. Or maybe just do nothing at all. Just take a note of your mistake so that you can rectify it in future. Let me tell you one thing. When you commit a mistake and you reflect on it, you remember it longer. Speaking the first thing on your mind doesn't mean that you can just go about rambling whatever comes to your mind. By saying this, I mean that you need to stop making choices between what to say. But then at least you need to know what you want to say. Sometimes when we get stuck in the middle of a conversation, the reason might not be just information overload. The reason may be that you don't have much knowledge or maybe absolutely no knowledge about the topic. So the first thing you need to know is what you want to say. But then stop analyzing too much and just say something and enjoy the freedom of speaking subconsciously and effortlessly. So this is Surabhi Jain saying goodbye till we meet again.